welcome back. I'm Kelly, and this is Kelly Hill Yoga, day 5 of our 30 days of yoga. Yay, yay, yay. We're almost through the first week. How exciting. Today we're going to focus on legs to get some energy, to strength and stabilize. I'm sure you guys are going to be a little bit tired of me saying that, but that's really the whole premise behind this 30-day program that I've created, is just to create positive energy and for us to strengthen, stabilize our joints through movement, and strengthen, stabilize our minds as well as our bodies. So let's get started with day 5. You will need a block. I have mine that's up and lovely. I'm sure you can't see because I'm a little bit far away, but my little dude has decorated my block. So grab hopefully your nice pristine block or your toddler artistically created block. And we're going to start standing today. So let's have our block just at the front of our mats so it's there and ready when we need it. And I'm going to stay centered for you guys so you all can see me. And we're just going to start in Tadasana or mountain pose. And this is a great way for us to work on the foundations and the necessary mindfulness in this posture. So I'm trying to find the proper words. So it's just having our palms facing forward, shoulders pulled down and away from the ears. In fact, let's pull our shoulders up to our ears, scrunch, 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 and exhale, pulling those shoulders away, shoulder blades pulled together, eyes closed or gaze softened. It's okay if closing your eyes causes you to be off balance a little bit. It's fine to just have your gaze softened, energy soft, pulling up through the ground of the head, grounding through all corners of the feet. In fact, let's lift our toes and wiggle them. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Just to show that we're grounded in that meat of our feet, right? Taking advantage of, and I'm going to get a little scientific here, taking advantage of those ground reaction forces. So ensuring that we are grounding through a nice wide part of the feet in order to strengthen and stabilize as the ground almost pushes back, right? Focusing on the breath as we inhale and exhale. Tailbone slightly tucked. Start to wake our bodies up by inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, cactus arms, pull the chest up to the sky, slight back bend. Beautiful, almost like doing a little bit of cat-cow, but we're standing. So inhale, arms up, exhale, pulling the chest forward, slight back bend. Last one, inhale, reach up, find length, exhale, pulling the chest. Now moving that same motion forward and back. So let's reach out in front of us. So we round through the spine. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. Rounding through the spine, palms facing each other. Inhale, arms open, chest wide. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms wide, opening things up. Exhale, palms together. Beautiful. Now let's come to, or you're already there, sorry, I apologize. The front of our mat. We're going to inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward, hinge at the hips, maintaining that length and strengthen your spine through the crown of your head to a nice ragdoll. We're going to have a generous bend in our knees. This is our first forward fold of the day. Let's transition, arms just hanging down, or you can hug both elbows, shifting rocking back and forth. Just waking up the back of our legs, hamstrings. Should even feel this in your glutes and low back. Remember we talked about that earlier. Low back, glutes, hamstrings, it's all posterior chain. Just waking everything up. Beautiful. We're going to inhale, halfway lift. Hands on the shins. Exhale. Fold forward. Now's the time for our block. We're going to grab our block. You can either choose to have it on whatever height setting you want. We're going to place our left hand on the block firmly, keeping length, strength through that spine as we reach up with our right hand. Just a nice little twist. Let's bend your left knee in order to twist a little bit further. And you should feel this in your IT band, in the back of your right leg. And your IT band runs down the outside of your leg. So you should be feeling it in your right IT band. Beautiful. Exhale, lower down, switching sides. Right hand on the block. Left hand reaching up to the sky to a nice spinal twist. Bend that right knee, keeping the left leg straight. Just waking up. Get ready to rock this day 5. Yeah, legs. Exhale, slowly lower down, setting our block aside. Just forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to plank. So we're up in this nice high plank. We're going to inhale as we push away with our hands. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down. We're going to come up for one nice little baby cobra. So hands under the shoulders and press up, either keeping your elbows nice and tight at your sides, shoulders and chest off the ground. Slowly lower back down. Take our right hand and grab our right foot and pull that foot towards your right glute, just waking up the front or quads of your right leg. Slowly release, not letting your legs sling back. Switch to the other side. So left hand grabs your left foot, the top of the left foot, ankle, whichever you can grab and choose. Pulling that heel to your left glute. Beautiful. Slowly release. Hands under the shoulders again. Shift our hips up and back to our first downward dog of the day. Yeah, waking up. Is there anyone else who's like notoriously, my hamstrings, I'm sure yours are, well, some people out there, your hamstrings, mine can just feel like they're like 3 inches long. Stretching it out. Through straighten one leg, bend the other, walking it out, just finding whatever movement feels good in this first downward dog. Beautiful. Inhale, lift the right leg up to a 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee slowly with control, knee to nose. Step gently between your hands. Runner's lunge. Staying high, knee lifted in that back leg. Grounding through all 4 corners of this front foot. Let's wiggle our toes to ensure that we're doing that. Inhale, rise to crescent or high lunge. If you're losing balance, widen your stance a little bit if you need to. We're going to stay nice and high because we're going to add some movement to this. So let's make sure that our foundation is set up first. Toes not crunched in that front foot, staying high, arms lifted overhead, shoulders pulled away from your ears. Let's place our hands on our hips so our arms don't get too tired. The focus here is about creating fire in our legs. So we're going to slowly lower that back knee as if we're about to let it touch the ground, and then rise back up. So on the exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Just lowering your knee, letting it hover just above the ground. Should feel heat in the front and the back leg. Exhale, lower. Rise. Lower. Rise. Beautiful. Finding that nice arms up. Once again, in that original crescent stance, transition our weight to the front leg, shifting torso forward. So we rise to a warrior three. Back leg lifted. So again, it's not about getting as parallel to the ground as possible, just creating length from the crown of your head to the back of your foot. Transition to a standing knee raise. So slowly with control, come to standing position with that left knee raised. Cross the left leg over the right. I'm going to transition for you a little bit so you can see this. Crossing the left leg over the right, shifting the hips back into an eagle pose. This is going to be a modified eagle. So we're going to create a little kickstand with that left foot. So just barely have your toes touching the mat with that left foot. Hips shifted back. I know you guys can do this. Breathe through it, remembering to breathe. That right leg should be on fire. Beautiful. Slowly come back to standing. Unravel the legs. Release the arms down. Shake it out. Beautiful. Great. Let's just show a little bit of love to our feet. So come on to the top of your right foot, rolling the toes a little if you'd like. Switching sides. This helps release just some of that tension and energy that you just built up by doing that. Those standing postures, creating fire in the legs. When ready, let's meet back in that beautiful mountain pose. Remembering the breath. Cultivating positive energy, knowing this we're doing for good reason. Strength and stability. Communication, our mind telling our bodies to do something, and our bodies communicating back. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to plank. Inhale, press away from the ground, separating the shoulder blades. Exhale, lower halfway. Rise up to upward dog. So that was chaturanga to up dog when we did that little bit of transition. Rolling on the tops of the feet, shifting your hips back to downward dog. Or however you wish to get there. One round of breath as we take it to the other side. So inhale, left leg up, bend the knee, shift forward, knee to nose, gently step between the hands. Doing a quick body check, ensuring that we're high on that back foot, integrity and strength in the front foot, grounding through the meaty part of our foot, not holding any tension in our toes. Inhale as we rise to crescent, arms up and overhead, right hip pulled forward, left hip pulled back, having your hips square as much as you, or as close to square as you can get. Let's bring our hands to the hips. As we come into our dynamic movements, it's okay if you have to make a little adjustment. I just had to widen my stance. So exhale, lower the knee without hover. Inhale, lift. 5 rounds. 4, 3, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. 2. Last one. Lower, hover. Inhale, lift. Beautiful. Bring our arms back up and overhead. Transition our torso and weight to that front leg, to your left leg. Hop, shimmy, whatever you have to do to transition to warrior 3 on this other side. Once again, not holding any tension in your toes. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Hips square, not open on that left hip. Beautiful. Beautiful. Hold it. Create that fire and energy. Keeping that back leg lifted. Transition. It's okay if you fall over, I just did. Transition to standing bent knee. Crossing that right leg over the left. Creating your little kickstand again. Shift your hips down and back to a modified eagle pose. Holding. Remembering that core stability from yesterday. Keeping awareness to create strength. Not crunching your toes. Make sure you're not holding tension. Back to standing. Slowly unravel. Hands to chest as we catch our breath. Beautiful. It's always nice when you create that energy, then you have that moment where you come back to the breath and relish in all that activity you created. It's beautiful. It's like riding that wave. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank. Inhale, press away from the ground. Exhale, lower halfway, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Beautiful. Transition to downward dog. Very nice. Let's slowly come down to our knees and onto our booties. So we come into a nice stretch. I'm going to sit in the middle of my mat. You can choose to sit wherever. We're going to extend the right leg as the left foot is tucked into your hips. And we're going to do 3 quick rounds of a little leg lift. So square our hips so you're facing that front foot or that right foot as much as possible. I'm going to have a hand on either side of the leg, and if able, we're going to do 3 rounds. We're going to lift the right leg without coming too forward and bending like this. Integrity up through the spine, the crown of the head. So 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Take your left hand, place it behind you. Right arm sweeps up and overhead. lifting the hips, coming into this nice little baby wild thing. Exhale, slowly lower those hips back down. It's just nice to do a little counter movement when you create some tension like that in your hip flexor. Let's come into a nice stretch. So square the hips again, reach forward, either grabbing your foot, ankle, calf, whichever you choose. And we're just going to come into a nice hamstring stretch or leg stretch on this right side, just for a few rounds of breath. And it's important here to not get too deep because we are quite warmed up from earlier, so just got to be very mindful of not finding anything too deep or the stretch too deep. Gently rise back to sit up, switch sides. So right foot tucked, left leg extended. And we're going to find length, square our hips to that left foot, both hands placed on either side of the leg. And it's nice here if you point the foot, and we're going to do those 3 quick little leg lifts on the left side. So we're not leaning too far back or too far forward. It's really nice if you can find a wall and practice this with your back up against a wall, because it kind of prevents you from doing any sort of cheating move. Not that necessarily that it's full on cheating, it's just creates mindfulness. So 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Release some of that tension. Right hand placed behind you as we sweep the left arm up and overhead, lifting the hips simultaneously into this baby wild thing. Exhale, slowly lower back down. Re-square your hips to that left foot and bend forward. Just a few rounds of breath, keeping a nice micro bend in that left knee. And finding a stretch, but not a strain. There's a big difference. It's okay if you're here, here, here. Just being mindful of what your body's capable and being okay with that. Nice. Let's gently rise back up and come to meet on our backs, with our soles of the feet on the ground. Show one last little bit of love to that posterior chain that we talked about at the very beginning. So feet about hip width apart. In fact, let's grab our block again, if you still have it there. We're going to put the block in between our thighs, about midway on the most narrow setting, squeezing the block with our legs, feet about hip width apart, and we are going to exhale and rise up to a bridge pose. Clasp the hands underneath, slight tuck of the chin to find length in your cervical spine. Drive through your heels, finding height, strength, squeezing that block. Beautiful. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, slowly lower down, one vertebrae at a time. Last thing to touch is your tailbone. place that block off to the side again. Hug the knees in. Rock back and forth. Take your hands to the outside of your feet for happy, or feet to the outside of your feet for happy baby. Elbows on the inside of your knees. And we're driving our heels to the sky as we pull our feet down in happy baby. Just a really nice way to find calm in the last little bit of our practice. Slowly release, extend both legs as we set up for Savasana. So making sure that shoulders are tucked, chin is slightly tucked. Have your feet just fall to the sides if that's what they want to do. Releasing any last little bit of tension you're holding in our legs that we just created a lot of heat, fire with some of these postures. Finding just a nice normal breath. As we melt into the ground, thank our bodies for this beautiful practice that we just created. Slowly open the eyes, wiggle your toes and fingers. As you become more aware, waking the mind back up. You can choose to stay here, or if you'd like, roll to one side. Slowly rise up, seated position, legs crossed, hands at your heart space. Gratitude and the growth that we show through our daily practice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, I love you.